Welcome to the Narcissism Freedom Channel. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you found this space, a place to heal, reclaim your power, and awaken to your truth. And to my returning viewers, welcome back. You already know this is a safe space to explore the journey of overcoming narcissistic deception, finding your strength, and stepping into your highest self. Today, we're diving into a pivotal moment that so many of us experience, being duped by a narcissist and finally witnessing the truth come to light. This is not just a story of pain, it's a story of awakening, empowerment, and spiritual transformation. Let's begin by acknowledging the very real emotional wave that hits when you realize you've been duped. Narcissists are masters of illusion. They cast a spell, charming, charismatic, larger than life. They tell you what you want to hear and promise the moon, all while weaving a web of control. When you first met them, you felt seen, understood, and appreciated. But that vision was not entirely real. It was a crafted persona. Beneath the charisma lay intentions you didn't suspect. At first, everything felt magical. Late-night conversations, laughter, feeling alive, worthy, special. You told yourself, this is love. And in many ways it was also a mirage. Narcissists use love as a tool to ensnare. Then came the subtle shifts. Offhand comments disguised as jokes. Questions about your memory. Gaslighting. You wondered, am I too sensitive? Too emotional? Too dramatic? Those insecurities were stoked intentionally, keeping you off balance. You bent over backward to preserve the illusion. You questioned yourself. Was I imagining it? But the truth was buried beneath layers of charm and manipulation. You weren't merely in a relationship, you were being entangled. The narcissist chipped away at your self-esteem, identity, and sense of reality. Being duped isn't just heartache, it's a profound violation. It's manipulation, gaslighting, love bombing, and devaluation all wrapped in one. When the fog lifts, the emotional fallout is intense. There's anger, valid anger at being misled. Shame that you trusted, loved, or feel foolish. Sadness for who you thought they were and who they really are. Confusion. You replay conversations, dissect interactions, wondering how you didn't see it sooner. Sometimes there's loneliness, even surrounded by people, because few truly understood. But that loneliness brings a longing for truth, authenticity, and healing. The awakening begins when you refuse to lie to yourself. You sense something is off, not because you're imagining things, but because your spirit is crying out. That gut-deep knowing is your higher self speaking. You begin to question everything, gathering courage to dig beneath the surface. Journaling, comparing memories, reaching out to trusted friends or mentors, all help you make sense of your experience. Slowly, the pattern emerges. Gaslighting, love bombing, triangulation, projection, devaluation, discard. Each piece lifts another veil. You realize you were not crazy. You were not overreacting. You were being manipulated. There's a shift in perception. You begin to trust your instincts, your inner voice, your spiritual guidance. You reclaim your narrative. No more lies, no more distortions, no more illusions. This reclaiming is sacred. It's the turning point where the light of truth streams in. As awareness deepens, you see this is not just psychological, it's spiritual. The betrayal shakes you to your core, but in that shake, something beautiful blooms. You realize the narcissist served as a mirror for your own wounds. Insecurity, worthiness, abandonment, or people-pleasing. Your spiritual awakening brings discernment. You learn to distinguish ego from soul, toxic love from healthy love. You realize your true worth comes not from how someone else treats you, but from who you are in essence, divine, whole, beloved. You anchor yourself with spiritual practices, prayer, meditation, journaling, breath work, energy healing. You connect with your higher self, guides, or inner child. Solace comes in nature, quiet moments, and reflection. You pray for clarity, strength, and courage to release what no longer serves your highest good. You repeat affirmations. I am worthy. I am free. I am more than what happened to me. You open your heart to grace, forgiveness, and restoration. Next, you reclaim your power. You set firm boundaries, not punitive but protective. You decide what is acceptable. You say no without guilt, hold your ground, and distance from toxicity if necessary. You choose peace over familiarity. You rebuild your identity. The narcissist tried to erase who you are. You rediscover yourself, your passions, dreams, and values. You reconnect with your inner child, nurturing them with compassion. You whisper healing, reminding them they are safe and deserving. You reclaim your voice. You speak your truth, not for validation, but because it matters. You may journal, create art, or confront the narcissist in clarity. Your voice strengthens, self-esteem rebuilds, and you surround yourself with uplifting people and affirmations. Healing is not linear. Some days you are strong, other days pain resurfaces. It's okay to feel vulnerable, cry, or rage. These emotions are not weakness. They are part of your tapestry. You practice self-compassion. You speak to yourself as to a dear friend. When negative self-talk arises, you gently correct it. That was not your fault. You did what you could. You are worthy. You internalize these messages over time. You seek therapy, coaching, or support communities. You realize you are not alone. As your heart mends, lessons emerge. You understand what healthy love looks like: respect, honesty, boundaries, authenticity. You vow never to tolerate manipulation disguised as affection again. You forgive, not to forget, but to free yourself. Forgiveness becomes liberation. You release the narcissist's burden and step fully into your own power. With healing comes purpose. Darkness wasn't for nothing. You feel called to help others, speak, mentor, or serve spiritually. Or perhaps your purpose is simply to live with truth, integrity, and love, radiating that energy outward. You commit to thriving, not just surviving. Daily spiritual practices, journaling, self-care rituals, gratitude, and time in nature support growth. You release karmic patterns triggered by the narcissist, healing childhood or past wounds. Spiritually, you surrender to your soul's wisdom, divine timing, and the greater journey. You trust that the universe guided this chapter as a catalyst for your awakening. You embody resilience, wisdom, and compassion. Your renewed self becomes a lighthouse for others. You continue to expand, evolve, and embrace the fullness of life. You honor your journey, your pain, your awakening, and your triumph. And now, having walked through the deception, the emotional fallout, the awakening, and reclaiming of power, you stand stronger, wiser, and spiritually attuned. You are no longer the person who is duped. You are a radiant, empowered soul who has transformed pain into wisdom, betrayal into clarity, and heartbreak into awakening. Remember, every step you take toward healing is sacred. Every boundary, every affirmation, every act of self-love is a declaration: I am free. I am whole. I am divinely guided. And the truth you once could not see is now fully yours, illuminated by your courage, your awareness, and your unwavering spirit.